Hello and welcome to TTV. It is time for our special segment where we highlight the most trending stories of the week straight from our newsroom. This week we're talking about the ongoing conflicts in Sudan and why it all started. Then we've got SpaceX launch of Starship. After weeks of tension, fighting broke out on Saturday between the army and the Rapid Support Forces, a powerful paramilitary group. It is important to note that these two parties were once allies and together they had seized power in a 2021 coup, upending a fragile transition to civilian rule that had been started after the 2019 removal of long-time ruler Omar al-Bashir. The two main people in this story, al-Burhan, a career soldier from northern Sudan who rose through the ranks under the nearly 30-year rule of al-Bashir. He became the de facto ruler of Sudan after the coup. Then there is the Gallo who became number 2. He's popularly known as Hemeti. The problem started when there was a proposed integration of the RSF into the military. The obvious question was who would be in control and who would be the military's commander-in-chief during an integration period. According to analyst Khulud Khair, a December framework agreement for the deal ratcheted up tensions between al-Burhan and Hemeti when it elevated Hemeti's position into Burhan's equal rather than his deputy. General Dagalo confessed that the 2021 coup was a mistake and has strived to present himself and the RSF as being on the people's side and opposing the Khartoum's elites. He has gathered some support, but many others feel his message hard to believe, especially given the paramilitary force's brutal track record. On the other hand, General Burhan has affirmed that the army will only fully hand over power to an elected government. The actions of both the military men have been subject to suspicion, and even their supporters worry about their wealth and influence if they were to be removed from their positions of power. Most of the fighting is occurring in the capital, Khartoum, but there have been clashes throughout the country with civilians being dragged into the conflict. A regional bloc agreed to send 3 presidents from Kenya, South Sudan and Djibouti to Khartoum. However, whether they will make the trip or not is unclear because no planes are flying in or out of the country. The UK, US and EU have also called for a ceasefire and talks to resolve the crisis. Now moving on to SpaceX. A few months ago, NASA introduced the most powerful rocket ever flown to orbit. Elon Musk's SpaceX is now preparing to launch its own creation, Starship, which could pack nearly twice the power of anything ever flown before. Currently, Starship is comfortably on the launch pad located at the company's facilities on the southern Texas coastline. The company, when it first posted its timeline for the flight, replaced liftoff in its mission timeline with 2 words: excitement guaranteed. Musk's statement on Twitter, however, was to set expectations low. He said if they could get far away enough from the launch pad before something went wrong, then it could be considered a success. He also added that there is a good chance it gets postponed because they want to be very careful about this launch. And the first attempt has been postponed after a pressurization issue. Now the world is waiting for the announcement of a new date. SpaceX hopes to use its spacecraft to explore the moon and also Mars. Musk has spoken about the spacecraft's potential for carrying cargo and humans to Mars and has even said that he hopes a carrier like Starship could eventually establish a human settlement on Mars. Meanwhile, NASA has already awarded SpaceX contracts worth several billions of dollars to use Starship to take government astronauts to the surface of the moon under the space agency's Artemis program. Those were our stories for the week. For more updates, stay tuned and keep watching TTV.